Yo, so we back. Welcome back to another episode of Musicians Exchange Podcast. This is season 2. I got some of the bros here. You know, they was here on the last season episode. And this episode I wanted to keep it light, man. I just wanted us to have a little fun and then give some insight on the thoughts and the reasons why musicians do what they do on Sunday mornings. Whether it's from the offering line to not knowing the count off on the song. The whole nine, man. So we'll jump right in. We're gonna start from the morning prayer. The musicians that are late. You guys are ever late, and your stuff ain't set up.
Now we talking about morning prayer at your house,
At the house
or
of the
we
Lord.
talking about morning prayer at the church house.
At the nigga, you don't pray before you go to church.
I pray. Ah, glory.
Hey, we talking about from the church. For the church, when you walk in there running late, and they trying to stop you from walking in while they praying.
Well, I'll go first. Me personally, I'm not late to church. There are times where I have been late, but typically I'm not late because if you're a responsible musician, you got to get there early, set up your gear, or make sure your gear is straight because sometimes your church be opening the doors and people be in there. You get there, you be like, I'm confused because they done let somebody use the church and you ain't know. So I typically try to get there like a good 10, 15, 20 early.
Yeah, I've been to some situations where it won't open. So I couldn't even adjust. Ain't no shots. It's love, man. We all tired. We all rolling as a team tired. We get it done as a team tired, But yeah. I feel like musicians automatically get a pass during prayer. Especially when we running late.
Absolutely not. See, the thing the thing is, well, I'm gonna be honest. I'm no longer in that position of getting to church late for a plethora of reasons. One of them being, most times at the edifice that I serve at now.
These.
Nah, but so we gotta be at the church almost like pretty much 3 hours before service start because we gotta do load in, set up, run through. Then we do this thing we call transitions where we pretty much go through the whole service except for the preaching. And then, we take time, then we'll pray and all the other stuff. So we always there. Honestly, and that's just probably the concept of the church that I'm at now. We spend more time in preparation than the actual service.
Wow.
So that way we can actually intentionally serve the congregation the best way. Now, the churches I was at before that, there was many a days. I go back even to before I was in North Carolina. Getting to a service, I'm just speaking for me. Getting there, hungover.
Oh, my God.
Hungover.
My God.
Like a champ. And service started at 11.
These niggas shit like a champ.
The service started at 11. Walk in about 11:03. While whoever's on the organ, whoever it was that weekend, on the organ, playing while they praying. They call, invocation, whatever. And that person, whoever's praying is up there going bananas. First off, my head is throbbing, so I don't even want to hear them.
Right.
But I can't even remember what the set list is.
Right.
So I'm too busy trying to think of what the songs are while they praying. So I ain't even thinking about the praying. And then there's times I've been sitting there praying like, God, please don't let this hangover affect my playing right now.
My God.
Because it's not going to
You
end
gonna
well.
be Little Richie on it. Nah, because it's and the reason I said, part of the reason I'm having this episode is because it's people who actually have questions on why musicians do certain stuff, why they leave out during the preaching, and why it take y'all so long to cut the track on or to adjust certain stuff. Like, bro, we actually gotta make it's a system.
Well, there's a couple of reasons or a few reasons why that might be happening. Sometimes stuff is happening like that because you're dealing with some musicians that are not responsible. They're not doing their job, or they're taking it a little too light. Sometimes that can happen because, to be quite honest, you might not be paying the musician enough, or the musician may feel that they're not being paid enough.
So that's the Baptist way of saying it. But as far as the musicians, some of the musicians you work with are lazy as crap.
Yeah, they're just lazy.
Facts.
They don't put the work in, and so because some of us, like I can speak for the three of us,
Yeah.
like we put the work in, so and probably might be a little more advanced than some other musicians. So we already put that extra work in to make sure that we accommodate
Right.
the lazy. You know what I mean? So that's how sometimes we unfortunately work with some shabby cats.
Jack leg.
Exactly.
But no, honestly, you should be on time for service. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Prayers going on, you should be there and be ready, because at the end of the day, especially if you're not playing for the prayer, first of all, it'd be nice to be in tune with the prayer.
Facts.
But sometimes, and that's the other thing too. Sometimes, especially some of maybe the storefront churches, the smaller churches, they don't understand that, like, when you're a musician, you kind of sometimes can't do everything that I guess you could say the lay members do. Like, for example, let's say you go to a church and they do full video and stuff like that. Somebody is late, or there is a transition that needs to happen. So a choir member is late, or a praise team member is not directly. Back in the day, don't walk during prayer. Don't you walk. Don't you walk. And then I used to start thinking, I was like, man, well, what's going? If I walk during prayer, God mad? Like, I can't pray and walk? Like, I'm confused.
It being
but like,
for no reason.
Right, but then sometimes you realize, wait, while praying is happening. While praying is happening, and everybody's eyes are closed and the camera may be zoomed in on that person, this is the perfect time for the right drummer to get on. This is the perfect time for the choir member to sneak into the, what I'm saying? And then that person always want to confess at you. Why would you walk? Why was your eyes open?
Yep.
I'm confused. I'm confused. So things happen, but sometimes you're just dealing with some bad folk. Musicians should be on time for church, and they should be in tune with the prayer. And a lot of times it's like, you want to be somebody, again, storefront, unlearn. We praying and you over there doing so. That's because as soon as he's done praying, I gotta rock. In Jesus' name, amen. Right. So like during the prayer, I ain't got time to be like, all you
doing is jumping and clapping, like,
right.
Nah.
And then, like he said, 9 times out of 10, if the church is on point, or the leadership and stuff is on point, the musicians and the staff would have already been prayed up. They would already been, you know what I'm saying? They're already at the place where they about to quote unquote carry you to. You know what I'm saying? Like a praise team leader, and he could tell you it's not gonna come out. You're like, ooh, this is their first time opening their mouth and singing for the day. All right, let's worship and get to God. Oh, no.
You ain't already.
By the time they're leading worship, they already probably done cried and travailed and shined the lubba several times before they bring you on with them. Because we got to start there, Right. I used to speak on that because, you leading praise and worship regularly.
Man, listen, I done been to services where I'm like the guest artist or guest worship leader, and you get in there and you can tell that some of those, whether it's the worship leader, musicians, or, the praise team behind them, whatever, not prepared, ain't practiced, ain't warmed up, nothing, ain't prayed up, none of that stuff. You can tell with some of that stuff, and it just gets out of pocket. And it's even, like you said, like Chuck said, with the musicians, like most times we gotta be abruptly on point ahead of time, because once they done that prayer or that exhortation, like, it's go time. Like,
even knowing the songs, bro, like programming it in your head, bro. Yeah. Even some situations where prayer just finished, I like to be professional, just like it's a TV show. While he talking and he introducing, on the way out, the track should be playing on the low. Figure out how you gotta have it adjusted, or whatever. Or we rocking one bar and we gone, no dead silence. Yeah. And it shouldn't be, and you should have it in your head. Like JJ Harrison, he got a couple songs with the same names. You Rain, he got like 3 of them joints. Musicians were like, you Rain, all right, cool. Wait, which one? And we done start off 2 different songs. You know what I mean?
God is great. Now you talking about Ricky Dillard or James Bingham, or Jason Nelson, like,
I need to know.
Come on here talking about some God is great, and we talking about God is great. God is great.
And if you at the church that I'm at, they don't know. Look, they don't know the other versions. They only know Jason Nelson. Right. So they gonna be like, is that Carrie Job? I don't know.
Wrong song. Right. So it happens, bro. Like, these are some of the things that just at the beginning of the service that takes place. You solid, bro. These are some of the things. Mike over there eating Mike and Ike's food. But these are some of the things that happen at the beginning of the service. You know what I mean? So we working our way through praise and worship, while the congregation is still jumping, clapping. We about on death row. 25th minute of praise and worship. Song number 2. What's the next thing?
Wait, we got to say that again though. 25th minute.
25.
Song number 2.
Number 2.
Right.
Look,
now that is one of the other things I do not always miss. Like,
it's a workout, bro. It's a workout.
And I am, like you said, I'm a worship pastor. I'll be up there with the microphone. I don't care for it. Like, we on song number 2. How long we been up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, snap. 27 minutes, 34 seconds. Oh.
OD,
snap.
bro.
And 9 milliseconds.
Legit.
OD. And you know, the pastor's nowhere to be found. No shot. And yo, this episode is not no bashing session, no shots. We just giving the insight, bro. Like, we having fun with it.
No
But yeah.
particulars. No particulars.
Well, that one guy, no, play. but no, that is why, like, sometimes, like, people get mad at y'all crazy. People get mad at the musician because they trying to figure out, you know, and especially too, like, now, any of y'all that know about anything about me, I'm quick to be like, we just go because I'm from the backwoods, so it's like give me drums and organ,
Yeah.
so we can go. But sometimes, like, that's another thing too. Your choir singing at a church. Oh, let me get this. Sometimes they get mad because the musicians are not ready.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, sometimes it could be lazy bum musicians. Sometimes the church has accepted an engagement at a church that cannot cater
Accommodate
to the needs of the guests.
Y'all don't got an outlet
So
over
we
here.
ain't got no outlet. What you mean? I ain't got no. So it's time for us to sing, and they upset because the drummer not ready when they don't realize that the drummer
we are
is
blessed.
actually. We are blessed.
We thought we was going to get a Yamaha set,
Yo.
and we get a first starters drum set.
Or you talking about, bring everything we want, just like Sunday morning. So in all actuality, the drummer is being the drummer, the producer, the drum tech, the MD, and the engineer, and the mixing engineer. So he get over there and I need a track line. What? Oh, I need a line to run for the computer.
We don't have a wedge for you.
Well, we don't have monitors so you can hear you. So it's so then you got that good drummer. It's like, hold on, I got a mixer in my bag.
Yeah.
Hold on, I got an interface in my bag.
It's the deacons that don't know what they talking about on that board.
Hire a sound man.
They don't even say nothing. They just point at the board.
Yeah.
Like, that's all we got.
And
right
then
there,
when something go wrong, they say, it's them, it's the musician.
Yeah,
They point
yeah,
at the musician. It's like, bro, it's not me. But look, so you fussing at your drummer. You fussing at your drummer while your drummer is literally setting up maybe $3,000, $4,000
pieces.
What? $4,000 worth of equipment because he got a laptop that's 2-3. He got an interface that could be a G, and then he got his external hard drive. Don't let it be a lacy drive or a glyph. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's setting up that equipment trying to make sure y'all ready, but y'all at this rinky-dink church with the deacon don't know how to run sound.
He over here, Jimmy
they ain't
Ring.
got no line. And, you know, some of y'all, okay, so some of y'all might not be listening when we say line. Not that y'all ain't listening. Y'all might not know what we're talking about. When we say line, we talking about a cable that can go from basically your phone or your laptop that goes into the sound system so that you can hear.
Right.
Or you can hear what we call stems, which is you might look at the band and you hear you see drums and bass and guitar and organ, but you might hear horns and nobody's playing the horns. That's what we call stems. See what I'm saying?
Right.
What I just explained to you is stuff that takes like a few years to understand how to master and even work. And you get mad because your drummer not ready to set up. And it's like, well, maybe you should have hired an engineer to travel with your church so that we don't have this problem. You know what I'm saying?
Or pick a song that's less.
Right. Let's do a James Hall song.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm sorry, y'all. We're going to go to this church, musicians. I'm not going to overtax y'all. We just need the organist and drummer for this one.
Yeah.
I've never heard that in my life. They always want the full band.
It's too much.
And then we get over there, the church got a Yamaha PSR1 and then a rinky-dink set. Like, but I just brought bass player, guitar player, and the saxophone player. Like, what are we doing?
With the SIM card sustain pedal on it.
Oh, what are we doing?
So these are some of the things, bro, like that we walk into surprise. You know what I mean? At guest churches, at our own churches. Sometimes your church, they'll have an event, have other bands there, and you won't even be at the event. You, like Chuck said, you come back in and your drum set look like
a tornado.
Look like, like it was Kids R Us over here, son. Everybody picked one thing and went to town.
Or a broken key on your keyboard.
Oh my God. Or in the situation I've been in, the keyboard is not where the keyboard belongs. Transpose. Wow.
On -3.
-3.
And you know this song is in F. You're like, wait a minute. Whoa.
Wait a minute.
Why is this song?
Or they got it in transpose. I'm so stupid. -12. Come on, man. You so stupid. That's an octave. You could have stayed right there.
So bad for that,
It's like, so you transpose so bad, you don't even realize that he just transposed to the same key.
Whole octave down.
Stupid, yo.
It's a baritone keyboard.
Right. Oh, I got this. I got this Barry motif.
These
got
are
the
some
Nord
of the things.
baritone. It's
Right.
that new stuff.
I got a Barry motif.
These are some of the things we be battling, man, coming in, and so it's not no easy task, bro. It's not or we just being disrespectful, or we trying to come off Hollywood or hype, or we got this. Cause yes, we very replaceable, but and then stop telling people, don't y'all hate when singers look over and be like, yo, this your part? Everybody know the drummer part.
Everybody think.
Like, yo, come show me.
Go, you just took the words right out of my mouth. Here's a common misconception. Oh, I forgot we're gonna do this one song, such and such and such. Oh, I don't know how to play that. I'm coming from a pianist or organist. Oh, I don't know how to play that one. Oh, it's easy. You can hear it. Hold on, wait a minute. What they don't understand is when I say to them, I say, okay, well, play it for me.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, I can't. I need you to understand that just as difficult as it is for you to play a song you don't know how to play, it's the same level of difficulty. Right. The difference between you and me is that I've been doing this for years. So the steps that you take to figure out that you would have to take that might take you 7-8 years. I've done that so I can kind of maybe do it quickly, but that doesn't mean it's easy. Yeah. That doesn't mean the stress level is less. That doesn't mean I'm comfortable. That doesn't mean I feel like I'm putting my best foot forward. Right. For example, case in point, I'm a big guy. Huh? Somebody gonna say, go run a mile. Conceptually, you just running a mile ain't no more difficult necessarily for me than it is you, other than the fact that I ain't done it in a long time. You know what I'm saying? Right. So the thing is simple. Pick them up, put them down. Right, so when you say to me, play that song is simple, and I'll say to you, oh no, it's simple, just play the right notes. It is. But if you're not practicing, it's still going to be difficult. And just like, even though he's skinny, if he hasn't ran a mile in a long time, guess what's going to happen if you go out there and try to run a mile?
I'm going to die.
So I'm saying, the point I'm making is,
death will be.
It's not like the point I'm making is, it's not like necessarily running a mile is easier for him than it is for me. Right. If it hasn't been done, it hasn't been done. Right. So don't think, oh, it's simple. You know that part. No, I don't. No, I can fake it.
Take that L. They looking at you, deacons.
Right.
So the worst one for me is, and I know y'all can attest to this because I've having played both of those instruments, drums and keys, is you're playing, whether it's the chord progression or an intro of a song, whatever the case, and whether it's a vocalist or even preachers or pastors that say that's not the intro or that's not the song. So I said, would you like to come and show me?
Because I'm confused.
Because I'm a little lost right now, because I could have sworn I just spent, first off, I just spent an hour playing this intro the best way, probably the best way, because I'm not Aaron Lindsay, so I'm not playing it the exact way. So it's not going to sound the exact way, the way I interpret it being the exact same way. But to you all in that congregation or on that stage, it's going to be.
But let me ask you this though: can you not sing it? Are you confused now? So you no longer can sing because I didn't play like Liberace? Like, I'm confused.
The song still starts, how great is our God?
Right. Whether I say, do-do-do-doom, how great, or whether I say, do-do-do-do-do-do, how great. No matter what I do, how great.
Your cue is still, your cue is still, how great is our God?
Right. Or, I got something for you on that one. When there's no drummer, you play an organ. When there's no drummer, you play an organ. And it's a vocal rehearsal. You got everybody that knows your music better than you.
I know you've been struggling with that.
No, but watch this though. You playing a song, and it's a slower song. Let's say this, give thanks with a great. You can play it mellow, or you can say, give thanks, do 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 do.
Feel it,
do do, give thanks, do 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 do. The tempo and the beat has not changed.
That
joke can look over there at you. They look over there at you, say, "You doing the song too fast? It's too fast."
Yo, Chuck.
It is the same tempo. Like
those type of people I love. I'm like, cut the track on.
Yo, that gets on my nerves. Like, so this is what I said that to say this. Sometimes, saints of God, you need to understand that.
Cut it on.
Right. See if I'm right. Sometimes, saints of God, right.
I had one person say that. I don't like that track. Man, get off the stage.
Right.
You got a better one?
Get off this stage.
Right.
You got a better track on your phone?
Beetlejuice, get off this stage.
And it's sometimes the way they say it too. Like if they came to you and say, I appreciate the track you made, but for me, I think it's doing something that's throwing me off.
Yeah.
Like say what it is. Say why it's bothering you rather than trying to tell me it's vocabulary.
They can't express it.
Right.
And they approach it so wrong. And then we as like, especially because we instructors too.
Right.
So we'd be wrong if we say, oh, so well, am I wrong if I told you that you sang that song flat or you hit that note wrong? Like,
because you didn't land that run, I can't play no more.
So like,
Look, we had to
finish
back.
that run.
I had to cut the stem off.
I can't play now. So
Take Me to the King. You did, instead of it being Tamala Man, it was old girl to leave me there. Like instead of singing it the right way, you did it the exact way. So all of a sudden, okay, I'm sorry.
But
also, we got you, Simon Cowell. We didn't know.
But here's the other thing too. Now, if you got good musicians, I ain't talking about all musicians. Good musicians. A lot of times you got to understand what we play. Certain songs we play or required to play or get paid to play. I'm not gonna say that. Okay, it's almost like we practice hard so that we can be at like a level 500. But a lot of times the songs that we present and are playing for common people to hear is maybe a level 100. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So sometimes you gotta give it to us. Sometimes we in the service and we playing all like level 50 songs. Sometimes we get a little bored. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes things happen. It's like, man, boy, it's like I practice 10 hours a day to like sit here and play this song, or play these songs.
Or play it the same way.
Now, granted, I appreciate the opportunity. I'm grateful for the opportunity. I do appreciate this song. However, we're going on Black Church hour 3.5. Like this particular song, I'm sorry, I just went off. It just happened. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I put my Art Tatum in there. You know what I'm saying? Right.
I go beyond the song though. Since you talk about
hour
3 hours, after hour 3 and 42 minutes, and the preacher's up wanting to lay hands. And we already getting bored with this warfare music. And then God forbid, this is the worst one. We already in minor chords. They look at us, talk about take me to church. I get up. I'm ready to get up.
Right. Or just think about that. Like think about it sometimes. It's like, and yeah, the preacher is preaching the whole time too. But it's like, bro, I've been playing service started at 11.
Yo.
It is
11:05.
Yo,
it is 1:30. It's like 2:30.
And the choir getting up.
And y'all still like hooping. Like, you ain't tired? It's like, bro, and then it's like, and then watch this. They get mad at us. Oh my God, I'm about to say something. Listen, I'm just telling the truth.
No, keep it mind.
They get mad at us. Oh God. They get mad at the musicians when they leave during the sermon when the pastor don't even come out until right before he preached.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm not saying nothing against the pastor, but the point I'm making is a lot of times pastors don't come out before they preach. Sometimes you have a lazy pastor who is not prepared, so they're getting their sermon ready. Or they're getting her ready, my God. Or him.
Hey. You better not
I'm just saying.
We can say that.
I'm saying
we've traveled with some
Hello.
We've traveled with quite a few.
I've seen the unseeable. I've heard the unheardable. But the point I'm making is also I understand preachers sometimes when they get to the service, they'll spend that time to really, again, like recharging themselves, making sure, let go of the stress of what happened at the house beforehand, let go of the stress of the staff member that's bothering them, so that they can come out and preach a clear, effective word. And I understand that that's what you need to do. And what's happening is the service is going on with the praise and worship leader and all them, getting into a level so that when the pastor comes out, he can just jump right into the pool, Right. And so I understand that, but at the same time, it'd be taxing sometimes for a pastor to be outside during the service from the time it starts to the time it ends. Because one, if he's out there, people are going to come bother him, typically. Yeah. Pastor, somebody, sister so-and-so, sister so. You know what I'm saying? So he needs that time to kind of like an isolation so he can come out clear-headed. So it's the same thing for us. Sometimes after we just played for like an hour
Yo.
nonstop. You know what I'm saying? And it got you to dancing and all that shabaka baka buka. It's like I need to get up. Well, number one, my butt hurts. Sitting on this drum
These
stool.
thrones are expensive, but they hurt.
Put some cushions on them organ seats.
Legit.
You know, moving around,
Still
like,
got back problems, and I don't even play organ and keys like that all the time.
And
no
sometimes we get up because it's like we go to take a little break. It's like I need something to drink.
Some
you know,
air.
I need to kind of detox.
The cotton mouth, son.
You know,
I look at it from a simplistic form. We've been played for about an hour, maybe more straight. Yeah. You get the opportunity to go get a water break.
Yeah.
You get the opportunity.
You can leave in between songs.
You get the opportunity to go take a smoke break.
Yeah.
Now
we know deacons. It's okay.
Oh my God.
We know. It's all right.
Now I'm not saying musicians you should get up and leave. Really, what should be happening is you shouldn't be in church that long. That's the first thing. It don't start there. It don't take all day. You shouldn't be in church that long, and there should probably be some accommodations in your situation where you can kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been to some pits where churches where it's actually a pit, so it's kind of secluded a little bit, so that when they're playing and when they're not playing, they can actually get off the instruments. They may have bottles of water, you know what I'm saying? There might be fans inside the pit, things like that.
Chargers,
makes it lets you charge your phone. But I'm saying, but it makes you feel comfortable. And sometimes when that's the case, you won't get off the instrument and go outside or whatever, you know. So that's the thing too.
I will honestly, even beyond that, go a little deeper. I say honestly, if this is probably no diss to any particular pastors or preachers, but sometimes, unfortunately, you hired musicians to do a job, and not necessarily receive the word that you got. Yeah, you know what I mean. And so, at the end of the day, my objective is not to sit here and be forced to listen to what you got to say at that moment, especially if their word is not good. Like because at the end of the day, I can attest for probably the three of us, like. We are particular when it comes to actual the word, not just us playing. So at the end of the day, if you ain't got no good word, I'm not sitting here to listen to this.
I ain't even gonna joke with
just
you.
Not doing it. Not doing it. And that's where I've been. I was like that for a good while. Certain people, you know, outside of like my home church and stuff like that. If the preacher ain't really saying nothing,
if he look like he up there playing, like
I once I hear you tune up or halfway tune up because you kind of in between A and A flat. But once I figure that out, then I'll come out there and then put you in the right key that you can stay there, and then you'll probably end in like B or C. Then I got to bring you back to A flat because you're too high.
Yeah. But also to play the devil's advocate or to play the other side. The other thing too is for the most part, I forgot what you were saying. You were saying, oh yeah, if the word ain't good. So then there's a couple of things with that too. Number one, musician. Why you playing at a church where the word ain't good or you don't agree with the house? Now, granted, hold up. That part. I do understand sometimes things, the going gets rough and the hills are hard to climb. So I understand it's like they paying good money. I need a job. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to do that. So as it's a maturity thing to say, this joker ain't saying nothing. Yeah. I don't agree with, you know what I'm saying, but I'm going to sit here.
If you're going to catch a word after.
Because it looks, you know, I'm going to sit here to try to be respectful, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes it is a thing, and it depends on the relationship with the pastor, too. That's tough. If the pastor, well, I mean, it's not like you haven't sat anywhere else in life that you didn't agree with, you know what I'm saying?
Every Sunday for an hour and
I mean, it gets tough, but then that's when you have to say to yourself, and this is the caveat. You know, is it worth the money when ain't nothing else there for you? You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you have to say no to that check so that you can get what is really for you. Yeah. Now, I'm not, by no means, I'm not saying every church you got to work for is a church that has to be feeding you or, you know, you have a spiritual father and da 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 da. The thing is, you should not, I don't think you should work anywhere that's not in line with some of your morals and beliefs. Right. For example, in the corporate field, I'm not going to work nowhere that feels like black people are less than. Duh. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go somewhere that feels like because my mother is a woman that she's less than. I'm not going to work here. I don't care what the job is or how much you paying me. Yeah. It gets to a point where it's like, you're not about to disrespect, as they say, Bill say, you're not going to disrespect my mother. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing that, you know.
But that's like, not even to cut you off. Like I told my wife Sunday.
But you meant to cut me off. I don't know why you said not even, because you definitely meant not good.
Shout out to Now.
Season 1. Go check it out.
I agree. What I'm saying is I agree, yo. Because I told my wife, I said, yo, it came a point in time where being a musician, I was just like, and the preacher preached a good word Sunday about, being a musician and not paying attention or not getting fed. And it's like, you feel like, even with Ty Tribbett, playing the drums sinking, playing the organ sinking, yo, that line hit home for real, bro.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, whatever. I hear what you're saying, but nah. You get tired of not hearing the word. So, sometimes I will step out, bro, to go pay my tithes. Right. And, some of the members may view it as the wrong, and not as specifically in my church, but why you leaving or why they leaving? I'm sweating my shirt a whole other color, bro.
Right.
Can I go get some tissue? Can I use the bathroom?
They couldn't afford fans or the proper air conditioning to ventilate the musician section. So I'm going to get air.
Yeah. Because I'm a heavy body to pick up off the floor if I pass out.
I'm slim and I'm still sweating hard.
Hello.
I'm
going to get some air. So I'm sweating hard.
But that's why I don't pay it no mind. I let them, like you said, bro, they cut the track on and we rocking.
Yeah.
And you just over there jumping and you can stand still if you want. I can't just take a break on drums in mid-song.
Right.
So,
I mean, you kind of can nowadays, like, especially if they shouting, because, everybody just wants you to go to cymbals.
Right.
You got to make the right face when you do it.
Right. They gonna think you working hard.
Right.
Why would they think you working hard?
You gotta make the. I was about to say somebody's name.
Oh God, don't do it. Don't do it. I missed it. I'm not a part of this. Pineapples.
We're gonna move on to the quiet.
But wait. I was gonna say. Also, this is the other side of it too. A lot of y'all don't understand this. If you are at a good church and the musicians have a relationship with the pastor, a lot of the teaching and the preaching that he does or he or she does over the pulpit is a lot of the same teaching that he would give you behind closed doors. Right. So that's the other side of it too. Like you said, we travel with, some of the top preachers in the country. And a lot of times when you travel with them and talking with them, they'll say, hey, so tonight, I think I'm gonna come from the text such and such. I'm thinking about going like this. Well, if I said to you such and such, what you think? What do you? Or they'll just turn to you. What do you think about the scripture that said? Like those are the conversations. If you are in a house that a pastor actually cares about the musician, and it doesn't have to be your, like everybody says, spiritual father. It ain't got to be that deep. It's just a good person that loves the Lord. You love the Lord. A lot of times those conversations are had. So and that's that whole hand in glove thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you're in tune with the pastor, he in tune with you. So by the time he come out and start talking, a lot of times as a true Levite in connection to the house, you like, yo, such and such and such. You know where pastor's going. It's like, I know where he's going. Da da da. And sometimes it's like, well, good. He about to talk about this. Yeah. I need to go to the bathroom. I need to, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it's like I already know the sermon, so it's not no disrespect thing. Yeah. But the Bible said, "Don't let your good be evil spoken of." So all we're trying to do is give y'all advice.
There's many times I've sat behind that instrument. And as soon as the preacher start, or like certain modes, I gotta keep it to myself because I already know where it's going. Punchline, right? I know the punchline. I know it's about to go, and I don't want to feel like, what I mean, almost like I gotta be ready rather than I could stand here and cheer him on like the rest of them. Right. But I was like, I gotta be ready, whatever the case. But I know what he about to do.
That's the other part too. How come the musicians don't be praising God? How come they don't be held up? First of all, we got a lot to pay attention to make sure stuff is on point. Granted, I'm sure if it's time for a shouting moment and they look over and there's shout music not happening, the first thing they're going to do is look over mad. But I'm sure if they saw the whole musician pit shouting, they would be excited about it. Yeah. But most times it's like, I mean, I'm not saying I don't want to praise God, but a lot of times, again, you're trying to take the house somewhere that you're already at. So if I'm already there, sometimes I'm not going to get to a point where I'm just like overwhelmed and I can't, oh my God, and I've just lost it and ran off the organ because I'm already supposed to be consecrated. Yeah. Where I'm taking y'all, I've already been there.
Yeah, you can tell when musicians have tapped in already.
Yeah. I mean, what it look like when the preacher get real revved up and he cueing, he know what the cue is for, and say, look at your neighbor and start screaming and say whatever, like, God's gonna do it. And he waiting for a hit from the band. The organ.
Right.
Going for
it. And it might be cute. It might be hot a couple of times. They'll be like, oh, yes, glory. But every time, come on.
You're getting docked.
You're getting docked. That's a different kind of relationship. That's right, Pastor. That's right. Yeah. You're a little too loud.
Said, you know what I'm saying? When was the last time we had a praise break? The organist keep shouting right when it's time. Right.
But I'm gonna say something that the folks ain't gonna like. And I'm gonna say it, and I believe this. true minstrel / Levites, the true leadership of the church that are in operation on Sunday, do not go to church to get ministered to. They go to church to minister. The saints don't want to believe that. The saints don't want to believe that. I'm not saying you can't be blessed in service, but the praise and worship leader is not going to church Sunday morning. Oh God, I'm so down and out. Please minister to me. I can't. I can't make it. Like, God, I need you to minister to me because there's nothing. Pastor, help me. That's not the posture of the praise and worship leader. Right. If that's the posture, that posture happened way before Sunday. There was a meeting with the pastor way before Sunday happened. We done walked you through that deliverance. So by the time you get there on Sunday morning, I will make a joyful noise unto the Lord and only lift your hands because he's worthy. And you point people to God. You point people to a place of refuge that you already know about. You know, and I'm not saying you can't minister hurting. I'm not saying you can't minister broken. That is a thing. But 9 times out of 10, I mean, think about it. Who want to hear a pastor that get up and when he talking the whole time, you know this Negro is hurt and broken? God dang. I don't need no woman. Every time a woman want to talk to me,
you go from laughter to tears. I know it's like
right. You gonna be in the congregation like something off with that pastor. I'm not going to the church no more.
Time to get up out of here.
Right, because so that's the thing. That's why sometimes lay members, when you look at musicians, you feel like we're not engaged or you don't understand why it seems like because we're working to help you all get there. We're working. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like if you go to a crime scene, who want the cop or the detective to show up to help you and he come up, what happened? Oh God. Oh, they shot him. Oh God. He can't help you.
Not as bad as the victim family. Like, hey,
he can't help you.
You pull it together.
These people are your leadership. These people you should be your upper tier. These are the upper echelon that you should go to for help. That's a good word. Master's degree. No, it's not. This is your upper echelon that you should go to for help. You know what I'm saying?
Which college means, graduate,
right? Which means churches. You're so stupid. Which means churches be careful who you hire.
That's it, yo.
Just because he can play with no power.
No,
was it Pastor Bishop R.A. Vernon? He made a very good point a long time ago, and he was talking how different members had these opinions or viewpoints about musicians, especially about musicians that get compensated properly. Right. And he was pretty much made it simplistic. He said, my brother organist does his job. Usher does their job.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Day, he said, the organist can do what the usher can. Yeah. But that usher cannot do what the organist does. And so at the end of the day, like, to whom much is given, much is required. You know what I mean? Like Chuckey said, there's times where we have no choice because of our preparation that we had during the week before, if we prepared right, and everything else, and like that time prep gearing up to Sunday, we have no choice but to enter his gates with thanksgiving into his courts of praise, because we already got that vision of, all right, we have to take people to a place that they ain't never been. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and we can't take them if we ain't never been there.
Even down to playing your instrument, bro. Like legit. Sometimes the mothers in the church like, hey, the Lord hit the band today or whatever, blah blah blah. And this is not even on no bragging stuff. It's just like, yeah, bro, we had to tap in as a unit. One, two, somebody or a few people in the band had to at least want to go there. Yeah, you gotta want to go there, and you're here, and I ain't gonna lie. Every Sunday I pray for the experience, not no regular Sunday. I don't care that we execute the music. Yeah, if anything, I'm cool with going off, the grain or whatever, because it's like we do stuff on our instruments that'll trigger somebody else. Right. And that one person that trigger could throw the whole church out. Yeah. That one person you ain't never seen shout, take off running just during praise and worship, bro, will have the whole church know.
Well, which is why I have a principle in my mind, and it's just probably from the guys that I watch coming up. When I'm playing organ or piano in service, I don't want no breaks until the preacher get up. And the reason why I say that is I like to call it metacreational music. Because if you're anointed and you're already at the place that you're trying to get them to go and you're consecrated, living, doing your thing, you gotta be consecrated, hello. If that's what's going on, when you play, people are being delivered and set free regardless. Right. I don't care if you're playing the blues. Yeah. I don't care if you're playing classical music. If you are living for God, things that you do are reaching the heart of God and the people of God.
Thank you, PJ Morton.
Thank you. And so there's sometimes when you are playing, and there's been times, okay, case of point, I can't tell y'all that. I can't tell y'all my secrets, but I'll tell y'all this. There's been times that I've been playing and like I'll play a certain way and I'll look at somebody who I know got a demon in them. You know what I'm saying? And I know they always got a bad attitude.
Yeah.
I'll look at them and I could like see them like swaying from side to side.
It's
They're
working.
just smiling.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are they smiling? What are they looking at? Okay, I know I'm being deep, but I would like to believe that is an anointing through me that God is using to keep somebody gonna say, you know what they smelling at? They could be smelling the text message. Okay, whatever.
I
She's
mean,
95.
Even
she
if
ain't
you
got no
triggered
text
to play
message.
a certain song, like shout out to Daniel, yo, I will say that, bro. When it's time to tap in, ministry wise and go to different levels, some of the songs here go to the right songs, bro, and they be like, yes, and I'll tell them, yo, stay right there,
yes, sir,
stay right there. Simple worship joints, huh? I
suppose.
Come on.
Whoa.
What was the pause? Nah.
You said stay right there.
And you did say it a couple times.
And you was very adamant about it.
You see what musicians be doing, yo.
See how we can tap in and out real quick? Oh, we're so used to being there.
You lean back too, though. When you
like,
stay right there. Hey.
Like, huh? Well, yeah, man. Like, bro. Like, it's you know what song you. That's the part about being ready.
Yeah,
knowing where to go, bro. If you already tapped in.
And here's the other part too. You know, when I was a kid, I tell people I started playing real early. So when I used to play, they were like, "Well, what do you like to do?" I was like, "Oh, I play piano." They were like, "Really? You know, that's signs of genius." That's what they say, right?
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, when you get older, have a few babies, you know what I'm saying, or you grow your hair out, you get mustache. Why you gotta pay them so much? Cause I'm a genius, nigga. How come I was a genius at 5, but I ain't a genius number? What I got dumb?
So I lost my genius.
Right, but I'm not saying everybody that
up.
plays is a genius, but I'm saying, see how we look at things differently as people? But I will say this, the arts in general, that pays thing, we get paid a little, we should, because, and that's why doctors, if you have a doctorate degree, you get paid a lot because of the same thing. Having a doctorate in a particular field, first of all, I can't have a doctorate in making a remote because that's already made. Yeah. If I'm gonna become a doctorate in a particular field, I have to be adding to that field. So I have to be studying in an area that hasn't been created. So watch this. I have to be creating from nothing. Like I have to be pulling from being a musician or being in the arts is the only field where it's literally a blank canvas. And you create something from nothing. Where does that come from? It would have to come from God. I would like to believe that. So this field is the only field where it's not, 2 + 2 is 4. Like, okay, like crunch these numbers for me, make sure I'm doing good. Okay, I'm good with numbers, so I got you. Like, I'm looking at the facts and doing it. Like, I'm, what I'm saying? I got a script to follow. No, we are creating from nothing. How did Daniel know what song to play? There was an unction. He was prepared. He knows his songs. He knows material. Let's talk about on a weekly basis, I may have to have 150 songs ready, like at any time.
152.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, first of all, you never are paying us for our job. You can never pay for it. It's priceless. Right. We are creating and pulling from nothing. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that. Yeah. We are creating and pulling from nothing. I play one thing in this room and make you feel another way. I play a whole nother thing and make you feel a whole nother way. That's a lot of power.
Even with
so you want to pay me right?
Yeah.
So I put the right atmosphere out. Because if I'm over there frustrated, what because you pay me $25.
Praise and worship, bro. Humbly speaking, bro. Like, switch it up, bro. If y'all gonna still be doing the same songs, switch it up.
Why does it gotta be the same? Why it gotta be just like the record though?
Yo, here's my thing. I'll switch it up and not even tell a band I'm finna do something.
Right.
It'll trigger them and it'll make them want to play something dope.
Right. Yeah.
Praise and worship leader, look, oh, y'all going for it? We all going for it.
Yes, sir.
Or if she going for it, I like to match the energy of the praise and worship leader. Yeah. I still have a minister music or a musical director, but I like to match the energy. If she going, I already told her, you going, I'm gone. I ain't leaving you hanging. No. We out. And before you know it, and I'm not saying that's what triggers it, but it's just sometimes different things. But when you moving as a unit, bro, at the end of praise and worship, you can look around and be like, yo.
One accord.
We
C-O-R-E. One accord.
One accord.
So, I mean, these are some of the things, man. I just wanted to touch on, as being a musician, bro. I mean, and we still, these are some of the things I wanted to touch on, bro. Any lies, comments, concerns to the nosy niggas.
Thank you, Jesus.
In Jesus'
Kiyobashai. But no, I would say, I always got something to say. I like to talk. As I choke. Hold on. Pause.
Oh no! No!
I just like to point out that I have not had a pause moment this entire time. Out of three of us. I don't know what's going on right now. I just don't know.
Failure.
Don't let his non-pause moments fool you. No, I'm playing. There's a pause on the way. But I forgot what I was gonna say. No, I was gonna say, like, at the end of the day, it's like it's all in love. Like, and that's really the problem is there's this huge separation between. I mean, it is a separation because as creatives, we are different. We are weird, and I'll give you a good example. Look at your greatest creatives. Tell me the greatest creative you can think of and tell me that they ain't weird. It ain't gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
Prince, James Brown. I'm of course I'm naming the secular artists. Well, let's go on the gospel side. The ones that are really, really good, but they're weird or they come off a little strange. If I do that, somebody gonna try to blackball me.
Yeah, that's why you ain't got it. Yeah.
So I ain't gonna say that.
Yeah,
but if you look at some of your gospel artists that are really, really, really good,
I don't think Stevie Wonder's weird. He's just blind.
Okay, he a little weird. He a little weird too. Hold on, wait a minute.
I blame the people that dress him, not him.
Wait, how you gonna say he's not a little weird? Stevie Wonder be smiling all the time and be like he be his body be jumping. That ain't got nothing to do with not being able to see.
His other senses are just stronger.
Oh my God! But when I say weird, I don't mean it as an insult though. You know what I'm saying? Like they might have an eclectic style or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
No,
or when you talk to them, like you might find out, like a lot of musicians, like, oh, this dude a nerd. Like,
or they super dope and they retarded in life. Like they social skills are terrible.
Yeah, that's a whole other story.
Since he didn't bring up anybody gospel, I will continue not saying names, but there is a list.
Yo,
right? That's
super
the thing
dope
too.
musicians,
awkward,
like
as
dope. You be looking like.
But that's what I mean. Something be awkward or something be off or something be really really strong. Like you might talk to somebody and
they missed a couple answers in school.
Like, what?
Like
they missed a couple answers in tests in school, but they will drop you off.
Right, they're killing on the instrument. You know what I'm saying? Or they killing on the instrument and they really smart in one area.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
What I'm talking about.
Which is why you have a lot of children or people with autism that are like exceptionally good at like the arts. Like, that's I don't know what it is, but I do feel that there's a connection. But there's nobody, even outside of musicians, but they're creatives and they're like really smart and they're really good at what they do. They have this, a lot of times when you really talk to them and spend some time with them, you'll be kind of like, something a little weird about this one. They like anime and Star Wars and you knit. Wait a minute, you color on the walls and the corners of your house, only the corners? Like, it get weird.
Somebody's missing a couple pieces of lettuce, tomatoes, and pickles.
Right.
From a full Whopper.
Right. So, but yeah, so I was just saying, so a lot of times, we are weird people, but the point I wanted to make is that you got to understand that, like, we all here, like, for one goal. Like, stop making that big separation between the choir and the band, the singers and the band, a vocalist and a musician. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all in this together. You know what I mean? Like, because I hate hearing that so much. Well, you're not a vocalist, so you don't understand. Do you know how many times?
Remember who's a WPI, bro?
What? Which part?
The whole band can sing better than all the tenors, bro. Come on, bro.
And
the whole band, and then everybody was strict. Nah,
it's okay.
Oh my God,
it's okay.
And all the tenors sing better than
all the band
members sing better. Yeah, like.
But I mean, matter of fact, that was the year that we got the band up. Remember, we had cats to play. We was like the band gonna say it was all. Yeah, we did a little thing. Yeah. But that's the other thing too. And it's like, and then I hate when I don't know if it happens to you because you so world renowned now. But I love when I be talking to someone. They be like, well, it's different for vocalists because you don't understand us vocalists or us singers. I be like, oh, okay.
I only got to play with you singing.
No. They talking to me because I'm not a singer.
Oh.
And then that thing happens.
Yeah,
when I end up having a ooh, and then they be like, "Oh, you can see right? Shut up! I know what I'm talking about."
I've had to do it many days before folks knew I was before I even became an artist. I sitting on the organ or keyboard, just listening to them talk. Oh,
you don't understand because you're not a singer. When you're singing,
okay. Then they mess up a part. They're like, hey, can you play that play? No, I'm not gonna play it. I'm gonna show you.
right.
I'm gonna add a run and everything.
Right.
They over there talking about, oh.
Right.
They're like, oh, you want to sing
They
the
got
mic?
a new
No, I don't wanna
respect.
sing
Nah,
that.
I'm cool.
But and this will tie it in together because at the end of the day, what? I'm sorry. What was that? Y'all heard that? Somebody was in the back room.
He said,
So the thing is that
That
most
autism
musicians,
came out.
right? See, I told you weird. That most music. That's not funny. Somebody is struggling. Somebody is struggling, and you all are making jokes. My name is Chuckey Robinson. I do not approve this message. But no, there's sometimes where I'm so stupid. As musicians, though, seriously, when we're playing, the good musicians, we're trying to get there. When we play, we say to ourselves, like, I want to play like a singer. Like, I want to sing through, my changes drummers. I want to be melodic the way I play. I want to be musical. We're trying to imitate vocalists. And if you be real, every genre of vocal music has a particular instrument that they try to imitate. Think about it. Jazz musicians always doing what? Jazz vocals, they be trying to be a trumpet.
The trumpet or
And then if
saxophone.
you have gospel musicians and singers, what they doing? What's that? That's an organ.
Yeah.
James Brown, I was having a conversation with a homie in the area. Shout out to Blue for Thompson. James Brown plays organ. Not now, but he was an organist. And that's why when you hear him say, oh, wow, that's an organ. That's an organ. Hit me. That's an organ, bro. But so in every genre you look at, you can find vocalists that are, I'm not saying they're trying to sound like instruments, but it's all the same. That vocalist that you like, if you think about it, you like her because she sounds like a violin.
Yeah.
He sounds like a cello.
I know I made a joke about him earlier, but Stevie Wonder also mimicked the number one instrument he was known for, which is the harmonica. When he sings, that's what it was.
Right.
So it always was like that. I mean, he played other instruments too, but
yeah,
his voice when he sang, like he mimicked the harmonica a lot.
Right. And that goes back to jazz. They scatting. When they scatting, what are they imitating? They're imitating, instruments. So it's all one family and one love,
And even from a spiritual sense, like from musicians, choir, praise team, whatever the case, like they're all worship leaders. I think we miss that, like, too. And a lot of people, even the congregation, sometimes even pastors too, miss the fact, which they shouldn't be missing it because the pastor should be the chief worship leader. But that's a whole nother conversation too.
Because he get mad that y'all took the church too high. Now he got to get up and bring the service down.
Shut up.
I did not mean to say that. It just slipped right on down.
Let's wrap this up. Shut up. Shut up.
But we all are all worship leaders working with one agenda.
Yeah, when you're in a church setting, that's what it is. And it's really not even just in a church setting, because all types of music, even the famous classical arranger made reference, like all forms of music should be, at the end of the day, formed to uplift Christ. That's what it should be, all of it. But that's another conversation that unlearned people don't want to have. So
that's real. Well, there you have it. There you have it. Some of the thoughts of the musicians, while we in church and stuff like that, what goes on through our mind and why we
rest
do
in
what
peace,
we
Kobe.
Do. You know what I mean? That part too. Oh, Black Mamba. Nah, but man. Thank you, for coming. Look, shout out to y'all. Season 2. Another episode, Musicians Exchange Podcast. Chuck Norris, Mike Brown. My fault.
Chuckey Robinson, the King of Keys and the Lord of Chords, and the Prince of
Mike Lowry.
Mike Lowry.
Hold it down. We out.
Mike Lowry.